Hello and good morning. Looks like a decent day to be in crypto. Had 6 trades open up this morning, and 4 of them are in profit, and 2 of them are at a small loss. But that is fine. I will take 66%, and I'm assuming these ones will probably catch up here too. But no, I'm good with that. So anyway, if looking at my settings, current settings, I don't know if this one has been up to 7.5%, but once it gets up to 7.5%, it moves the stop loss to 4. So we're for sure locked in with 2.5% gain on that trade. I could make the stop losses or the stop profits closer if I wanted to, but in general, I kind of like to give the trade a little bit of room to breathe. And if it's going to go on a big run, it's nice not to get stopped out at 1.5% before a 30% move, you know. So anyway, let's hop on the charts and look at the conditions that trigger these trades. XUSDT. Well, that's a short position. Oh, it came back up and tagged that. All right. I'm going to do something like that. I'm going to extend that stop loss out a little bit further in case it goes up for a while and then it decides to come barreling back down before I have time to move my line. Moving on. So that now just came up and tagged this long line here. And again, if you're not familiar with my system, these just straight green lines like this is well, it's technically a market order, but it's set on a trend line, in this case a horizontal line. When this is triggered, this will send an alert from TradingView to the TriggerLink server. It will check the most recent history of the asset, and right now I believe I have it set it in a 15-minute time frame, but I think I might change that to hourly. But it'll check the history of the asset, and it'll look at relative volume basically and the ATR. Judging by the size of this candle, I would say maybe. I don't know on which. So that just happened. So I believe this is the most recent. That's the most recent bar. Yeah, that one might have opened a trade. So let's go check. Do we have an XMR trade? No. No, we don't. So anyway, move that line up. I'll give it a little bit more time. Hopefully it'll hit that with sufficient volume and ATR to trigger the trade. And if you're not familiar with ATR is basically the size of the candles. And so I think a pretty fair thing to say is that generally when an asset takes off on a real pump, you start getting large candles, BACs, if you will. That stands for big ass candle. Here you have this consolidation. You have fairly small candles, and then you have this big one here. And that's where I'm hoping. What the software will do. So say it hit right here, and this is where it broke through the line. It would calculate the relative volume and ATR of these last several candles, and then it would calculate the average volume and ATR of the last 100 candles is what I have it set to. In this particular case, at this moment, this may not have triggered a trade because the recent volume and ATR needs to be higher than the historic volume and ATR. And so looking at this here, it's a good possibility that this would have, but I guess apparently it did not. So I'm not exactly sure which one it was missing, whether it was volume or ATR. Doesn't really matter. So we're going to put our line up here and just wait for it to happen again. But I think we're kind of out of trend on this now. It's broken through. Now I think I'm going to switch to a horizontal since the trend wasn't fantastic before, but now it's really just not existent. Unless maybe. just, yeah, we can do that. That'll be fine. I don't want to put text in here. Whatever. Okay, let's keep going. Yeah, so I'm going to switch this to a horizontal line here. These two candles here are hitting at about the same, well, 3 almost, but they're sitting at a support line. And so I'm going to come just above that support, place my order line. I think that'll be fine. Anyway, yeah, this is how I take care of my system every day. Or not every day sometimes. Sometimes if things are slow, you can do it every 3-4 days, and that's enough. But let's see here. It's kind of a lot. So I think what I'm gonna do here. So there's this long bounce line, and then there's a regular long line. The long bounce will forego the filtering process. So if the volume isn't high enough, or whatever, it won't stop the trade from happening. If this line crosses, an order will open regardless. So you got to be careful with these. It can be really effective to have them sometimes, but it also, I'm going to leave it the way it is as far as that line goes. It can be really effective to have the long bounce lines, but at the same time, so you also need to be careful with it, because even if the asset you place a line and for some reason the price is above it, and it comes back down and it's hauling, it's going to go right through that line. It's going to open the trade even if you're not going in the right direction. These other lines here that aren't labeled, the standard longs and standard shorts, if it hits those lines, and the most recent, like the 3 MA is not above the 5 MA, basically, if the 5 MA is above the 3 MA, it's not going to open a long position because it's not heading in that direction. And so that's like a safety. If you have one of these lines and for some reason the price is over top of it and the line gets reset, it's not going to open a trade on its way down. It just won't. And it's not going to open a trade if there's low volume or low ATR. And so this the filtering system, I think, is generally pretty good, but it also, not every asset has the exact same tolerances. And like one issue I found with it is, like, if say you have a big pump and then and you have some consolidation or something like that, and then you want to put a long on top of that and a short below, and so if it takes off again, it's going to open a trade, or if it drops after that, it's going to open a trade going south. But if you have really big candles in the previous several days, it's going to take a lot to break that threshold, and so you may not open a trade when you want to, which is kind of part of the reason why I created these long bounce. I also created this so that if this asset does like it's been doing and comes down and hits right on this line, it's gonna trigger a trade, and it doesn't need to be going up, and it doesn't need to have the volume, and it doesn't need to have all those other things. And so the bounce lines are really useful. Long story short. Okay. Okay, so moving on. Data, I believe that's one that we're in a trade. Yep, that one's up 2.8%. And so yeah, that's what happened here with Theta. Is when I was setting up this chart, I was thinking that, hey, There's been some pretty good sized candles recently, and I wanted to open a trade regardless once it breaks out of this consolidation right here. And that is what it did, and it worked, and the trade is in profit, so I like that. That's a big old line. Maybe 8. We're gonna put that there. I don't know. Yeah, I think I like it. If anybody is watching this and you don't like it, we'll go ahead and leave in the comments. If you think my trading sucks, that's cool. Leave in the comments. One that we have open? Yes, it is. 1.784%. So, now I feel the need to move this long bounce line for next time it comes back down. And so basically I just want to find the best trend that I can. Even though this may not be a textbook placement for a trend, I've got 3 touch points there. 1, 2, 3, and then really this whole consolidation is respecting this trend, this bounce line. Aside from that little guy right there, don't worry about that guy. So I didn't build tools to teach other people how to trade, because there are probably plenty of people that are. There are lots of people that are more experienced traders than I am. However, I saw the need for these tools and I built them. I immediately came to the conclusion that I don't want to say this game is rigged, but the fact is these exchanges could provide you with a lot more tools for analysis, for opening and closing trades, for doing a lot of things that they don't support, like trend with the trend trading. You know, most every exchange that I know of basically allows you to place a market order right now at the price. So if you're on the charts and you see a good spot, you know, open your market order, set a limit order, and you're counter trend trading. You're betting it's going to come down to this exact point, hit this line, and turn around and go back up. That's like, you know, it's difficult, and I mean, you're playing with your money here. So the traders that I've studied, I think most of them will say that opening a trade with the direction of a trend that looks like it's, you know, going somewhere is probably your best rate of success. So that's what I wanted to do. I wanted to build tools where you can set up your tools, you can, you know, walk away, and then your trades will open, and you don't have to get up at 3 o'clock in the morning and check your phone. You don't have to sleep next to your computer. You don't have to be in a place where you should be focusing on family and things like that, but you're worried about your trades. And so I think this is really good because it helps you to have a life outside of this. And it also maximizes your opportunities, because you're just not always going to catch every trade. A lot of times the market moves when people, the early hours in the morning, or on holidays, or, you know, your dog's birthday, or whatever. You know, it's always at an inconvenient time. And not always, oftentimes. So set the tools, walk away, and then some days you come back and you got some nice trades going. Again, if you're watching this video, if you have any ideas, something you want to see implemented, drop it in the comments. I'll I'll at least probably make a test version of it. And yeah, I hope you guys give this a try. This software is powerful, and I think that, you know, there's a lot of people out there that aren't making money, and there's a lot of people out there. There's a few people out there that are, and the people that are want everybody to know it because they want people to take risk, and they want, you know, they want your money, and that's just the truth of it. It's dog eat dog game, and or fish eat fish, or, you know, whatever. When I first started developing this software, I thought about calling it remora. If you know what a remora is, those are those little sucker fish that latch onto whales and sharks, and then they basically, you know, A, they don't get eaten, and then B, they get a free ride, you know. And so that's like, when you look at it like that, that's a pretty sweet deal. But who wants to be a sucker fish, you know? I don't know. Alright, we're good on that one. Don't want to place it above consolidation. So I don't really love that just because of this right here. That's a pretty strong level of support and resistance. If we look at this here, we've got the top of this one, we've got this consolidation over here, here, and then really these retracted candles on. So I don't know. I could bring it all the way up to here. Then you're gonna miss like 20%. If it does, yeah, 25. So it's kind of tough sometimes to know exactly where to put things, but that's trading. I mean, ultimately there's less complicated decisions with this system than I've found with most others. I don't know really of an easier system to use, but all right. Yeah, in my list of assets, I have, you know, kind of a mix of you know, real coins and shit coins, and you know, when I say real coin, I mean things with utility, things that have been around for a little while. And this hasn't been the market for reasonableness, and so I can, being as it's, you know, my system involves short-term trading, I'm not really as concerned about the utility of something. If I'm going to buy something for a spot bag, I'm probably going to buy something that has utility and stick it away and forget about it. And truthfully, for most people, that's the best way to trade. And also not buying now, waiting until crypto is dead, until nobody wants to be really involved in it anymore, and, you know, nobody's talking about it. That's when you want to buy your spot bags, and then, like I said, buy things that have utility, and put them away and forget about them. Not financial advice, but just what I would recommend to myself. Lido. Am I in a Lido trade? No. So I got knocked out of that one. Okay, I'm moving that guy down to, that's fine. That is fine. That's fine. Right here. Kind of like that, actually. what is it to the top of this next? And so if you don't know how support and resistance works, well, you should probably take a course before starting to try to use a tool like this, because you're probably not ready for this. But this, see where my checkered line here is here? I have 1, 2, 3, you know, and then I don't know if you count this or not, but it's some people do it differently. But there's a number of spots where you can see where it's rejected, or you have consolidation above or below, or you have a sharp rejection from a line, and so that's right where we're at right now. And I think if it breaks through this line, we're probably going to have a at least a 4% move, into the top of this, which is, I like to shoot for something that's going to be at least very minimum 3%. If I get a 3% move, it goes up, it locks in my 1.5% profit, and I'm not going to be in a loss. So the system is not, it's not designed to catch big trades, but it's more about consistency and locking in the profits on the small end, so you can get up above break even, and then locking in enough profit as you move upwards, so that you can try to capture a bigger move. And that's difficult to do, because not every coin is going to move in the same patterns, and it's not going to move in the same pattern that it did yesterday or last week. So I'm going to finish up some cleanup from yesterday, and then I'll be done trading for the day, really. Did I do H-bar yet? No, I didn't think so. Okay, so now we are definitely getting to the point of horizontal support and resistance. Looks like it's where it's at. And I think that's how I'm going to try to play that. Okay. That's what I want. Did I do gas? No. Mind putting in a long bounce on gas too. I don't label all my lines, but I do like to label those ones just so I use them properly. Okay, I think that's about everything. Oh, missed uni. Setting everything up so that it's tuned perfectly and adaptable and dynamic is difficult. And so while I test things, I'm really not trying to blow my account, I've done that quite a few times, testing. And it's not fun. So anyway, thanks for watching. I'm glad if you stuck around this long, kudos to you. But have a great rest of your day, and check out my other videos. Like, subscribe. That would do my channel and my business a really, really big favor. If you want to try TriggerLink, and you are using any of these exchanges right here, I'll give you a month to test it out on any exchange that hasn't been tested yet. And so get a hold of me, shoot me an email, message me on X, go to the contact us page and send me an email. All these exchanges should work with the software, or they may need some small adjustments. But if you are willing to help me do a little bit of testing, which shouldn't take more than a day or two, and what I mean by a day or two, you get on, you try to open a trade, close a trade. We, make sure everything's functioning properly. If it's not, I'll make the changes to, adapt to that exchange, and then you'll be able to use it for the rest of the month. So, yeah, let me know if you're interested in trying this. If you want to use this software with Blofin, it is $40 a month, and it'll be $40 a month for every other one too after the initial free month for testing. So yeah, be a beta tester. Come help me out and help yourself out and find a better, less stressful, more effective way to trade. So have a great day.